your girl ChucTayyy, and I am here with your RETV Sports Break. You can catch me here every Thursday, talking junk, spitting facts. Let's get started. So the road to the Final Four is set and paved in gold, and North Carolina is up in arms because on one side of the bracket, you have the UNC Tar Heels and the Duke Blue Devils. One game, same game, and now don't nobody know what to do. Nobody knows what to do. And then on the other side, you have the only number one seed left in the entire tournament, Kansas and Villanova. So first of all, Kansas is hooping. Let's just start on that side of the bracket. Kansas is hooping. They are now the most winningest team in all of NCAA history. Somebody made a comment over the weekend that that's not really a thing because didn't like basketball originate there or something. So it's like, get over it. But I think that's going to be an amazing game. I also think they're going to win that game. They are definitely going to the championship. I, in my heart of hearts, would love to see the Tar Heels win because that's the team that I root for in the state that I live in. But I actually think that Duke is going. Don't tell anybody I said it. I mean, you're going to tell a lot of people because you're watching this. But I think Duke is going to win. Coach K's last season. It's his last Final Four, his last hurrah. And as much as I love to see Papa Roy in the stands cheering on his boys, I think Coach K and the Blue Devils got this, and I'm going to go out on a limb and say that on Saturday we will see Kansas with a victory, Duke with a victory, and then that championship will be set, and it'll be a very interesting game. But North Carolina, you know what I want you to do? I want you guys to get some chicken, get some beer, play some Ludacris, Petey Pablo in the background, and just find solace in the fact that one team from your state is going to go to the championship. I know it's a lot harder to do than it is for me just sitting here saying it. But what we need to also find solace in is this has been an amazing tournament. St. Peter's, let me tell you something. A 15 seed? 15? Boy, this has been a great tournament. It seemed to speed by. Like, I was like, oh, we're at Sweet 16. That was like last week. That was like literally this time last week. We were talking about Sweet 16, and here we are. Boom, Final Four. It was like, did they take a break? I don't really know. But we'll see what happens on Saturday. I'm going up for UNC and for Duke. I mean, they are 1-1 from their regular season. So there's a lot on the line here. I'm excited. Let's stick with basketball. The Lake Show, or the Fake Show, that tickles me right here in my spirit. I don't know why, but the Fake Show just does something for me. So they are now tied with San Antonio for the last spot in the play-in section of the playoffs. That was just a lot of things to say. So here's what I think. My girl Monica McNutt on the ESPNs agrees with me because, you know, we're here. Not really. Don't tell her I said that. But I do agree. What she said this morning was that she thinks that this is not the year for the Lakers. Maybe not throw the games, of course, but like this is just not your year. You, the Lakers and the Spurs have 7 games left in this regular season. Obviously, whoever bests that remaining 7 will be given the seed, you know, unless something like wild happens and they, you know, something wild may happen. Who knows? It's the NBA. But here's what I think. Again, agreeing with Monica McNutt. Let's just call this a rebuilding year, okay? So LeBron is having a pretty decent year, but he is also out for Thursday's game against Utah. So that's a thing, right? That's something you have to take into consideration. You know, you have Anthony Davis, who, as I've said before, as we can all see, is like Mr. Glass over here. And it's just like you just never quite know what's going to happen with him and when he's going to return and if he's going to stay returned. And then you have Russell Westbrook, who seems to be struggling this year, only averaging 18 points per game. And that's the lowest since like his rookie season. He's struggling, okay? And there's lots of things happening. Again, injury report, you got all these chefs in the kitchen, all the Gordon Ramsays and Bobby Flays and all of the things. And it's just not, let's just call this a rebuilding year. How about we take a step back, okay? Just back this train up, okay? And let's start anew next year. Let's get some milk in the boys, okay? And get our bones nice and strong. And maybe let's focus on some, I don't I never actually felt like they had a strategy. If you are not new here, you know how I feel about this whole Laker thing that's going on, and I don't like it. And this is why I don't like it, because you have all of these superstar players that, not saying they don't play well or nice with each other, but there's something that's not, the gel ain't gelling, the Wellington ain't Wellingtoning, okay? And you guys have to figure that out, and you're not going to figure that out in the playoffs. That's not usually where you come together. You have to be together before you get there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But like I said, LeBron is out for Thursday's game against the Jazz. So that's already 1 of 7. That could potentially be a loss. And then you got to see what the Spurs are doing on the other side of it. So we'll just see what happens next week. And last but certainly not least, the NFL has now instituted a new playoff overtime rule. This rule is exclusive to playoffs, like I just said, and has no way, shape, or form influence on what happens in the regular season. And that rule is that now both teams will have an opportunity to score before the game is called over. So, it ends before it's over. A lot of people are upset about this. A lot of people are saying that this is their answer to everybody complaining about what happened with the Chiefs versus the Bengals in this past playoffs. And that's how the Bengals ended up getting to the Super Bowl over Patrick Mahomes and company. A lot of people on ESPN and the CBS Sports are saying that you're putting the emotion in it when it should just strictly be about football. They're also saying that if the defensive team, the team on defense in overtime, took advantage and did their job and played defense in that first drive, the other team would have an opportunity to score. But if defense ain't defensing, then that's why you don't get the opportunity. Now, let me tell you what I think. Me personally, me Taylor, I am fine with this rule. And let me tell you why. When you go into overtime in basketball, and I'm not necessarily comparing apples to oranges, I know it's a different sport, but when you play basketball and you go into overtime, it's not who scores the first basket, it's an amount of time. So it's, maybe I should say it like this. Let me back it up, okay? What I think is that overtime should just be a set period of time, and whatever happens in that set period of time is just what happens. So if it happens to be that it's 10-minute overtime, just as an example, 10-minute overtime, and one team runs out that 10 minutes, oh well. Because then, yes, the defense should have been defensing. But in that 10-minute time frame, if both teams have at least one opportunity, or maybe one team gets 2 opportunities to drive and potentially score, then that's what we get, right? Because that's what happens. It's just it's no other sport, or not as many sports, I guess I should say, is the overtime first point wins. That's not overtime. That's sudden death. Whoever scores first wins. There's a difference, okay? So yeah, I'm okay with it. I do understand that they kind of got away from the part of the rule, if the first team that has the drive in overtime kicks a field goal, now the other team gets an opportunity. I get that. But again, it should just be a set period of time. And yes, I understand football, the drives can be long. I really do have all that. But again, it gives the defense a chance to do their jobs and try to stop them within that 10-minute period so that we can switcheroo around. I don't think it should be so granular, the Chiefs get a chance to score and now the Bengals get a chance to score. Because then also, if they both score, there's a lot of nuances here. I just think you should have said overtime is 15 minutes. Do with that 15 minutes as you will. But again, I'm just a girl in a room with a notebook behind me and a new t-shirt every week. What do I know? And that's it for me this week, guys. If you have not, I'll give you a sweet moment, a sports sweet moment. I forget what we're calling that segment. But if you have not already seen Giannis and his dad jokes, please go watch it. Y'all know I can't say his last name. I'm not even going to try. He is the literal purest soul on the planet. And he went in his press conference and he told his little dad joke. And I'm not going to spoil it for you because if you haven't seen it, I want you to hit the YouTubes and see it. And it's just so cute. And I love it. And I love him so much. But otherwise, that's really it for me this week, guys. Next week, we'll talk championship. we'll talk something else. We'll see what else happens. Stay thirsty, my friends. I don't know. It's me. And I will see you next week. Same room, new t-shirt. See you later.
Well, they do that, cause we do that though. I see you talking, so we gon' take it though. And yeah, talking cheap, so don't do that though. My click 100 deep.
This is Tyron
and Nicole with your weekly RETV news break. Each Thursday at 12 noon Eastern, we'll come to you with the latest news, trends, and more with a positive spin.
We know there's a lot of positive news that doesn't get reported, but we want to give you the opportunity to share your story here on RETV. If you have a positive news story you want us to share, you can submit your story to news@re-tv.net.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Relationship Entertainment Television YouTube channel. Download the new RETV Live app on your mobile device and follow Relationship Entertainment Television on your favorite social media platform.
Don't forget, make sure you tune into the RETV News Break each Thursday at 12 p.m. Eastern. Until then, be blessed and be great.
Growing up in the church, we saw a lot. Things that people refuse to talk about. The elephants in the room. Mental illness, sexual abuse, broken families, domestic violence, and so much more. The Big E, The Elephant in the Room, is a show that sheds light on these topics. We're here to speak about the unspeakable.
Hey, it's your girl Tia Robertson. I'm the host of Entrepreneur Insider. Right here on RETV, every Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern for entrepreneurs and news that you need to know about. See you there.
Welcome to What's Going On? My name is Demita Joe. Each Wednesday, you can find me here at 3 p.m. I'll be over here discussing different things that are going on and try to bring you a boost of positivity for your week because we all need this. We're going to share some feel-good stories. We might find a hometown hero. We may take a look at some trending topic. And sometimes we might even find a lesson in a not-so-warm and fuzzy story if we can. I'm Demita Joe, and I'll see you guys on the next episode right here on What's Going On?